Hello, hello. Welcome
Hi.
to our power lunch.
It's a quick one today, I
We are
think.
we are really good at compressing time right now. We're very busy and we're kind of leaving ourselves with 2, maximum 3 days over the last month at least. Maximum 3 days in the week to focus on our business and kind of personal lives, I guess.
Yeah, it's been a little bit crazy. If you've been following along, we just got back from Winnipeg yesterday, and that was a fun journey home.
Yay, Air Canada!
A little rough. That's okay. We made it. So made it home yesterday evening, and we leave again Thursday. Thursday.
We leave Thursday. That's right.
Yeah. So we're going to be on the road again. We're going to be in Toronto this time. So no airports this weekend, which is kind of nice. It'll be a bit of a relief, although we are going to miss the lounge, I think. No airports, no airplanes this weekend, just a nice drive to Toronto. We're going to be there for the Wealth Genius Expo, which is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, lots of speakers, 3-day event. It's going to be good. So if you're in and around the Toronto area, send us a message. We can get you a promo code, I think, to get into that
Yeah.
room. So
And
it's
you
gonna
get
be-
to hang out with us, come connect with us.
Yeah,
It'll be fun.
we'll be there all weekend.
Yeah. So for those of you who are joining for the first time, my name is Dakota.
I'm Jeff. Hello, hello.
We are the founders of Opanacon Investments. We do multifamily acquisitions, and we do this as much as we can every week. We've been trying to be as consistent as possible. It's been over a year now
Yep.
since we've been doing these.
We've been pretty good at being consistent. We've missed a few here and there, but
Yeah.
we're good.
But we're here Tuesdays, 12:30-ish Eastern, to talk about a topic that either we've experienced, we're going through, a student of ours is going through, and hopefully add some value to you. So if you're here for the first time, welcome. If you are joining us again, welcome back. Thank you for joining. And as always, we like this to be as interactive as possible. So we have a topic, we have some talking points, but
Comment down below.
yes.
Let us know you're here. Let us know if you have any questions.
Yeah. If you have something you want to add to the conversation, if there's something you want to talk about, make sure you let us know below. And even if you're watching this after on the recording, because this gets recorded, it's also put on YouTube. So if you're watching after on the recording, still let us know you're here and if you have any questions.
Yeah, so we're watching the chat both in YouTube and on Facebook.
Mm-hmm. So for this week, we wanted to talk about deal flow. So there's different pillars in a real estate business.
Oh, I had a good segue to get us there.
Oh,
Because you mentioned that we're driving to Toronto. And we're actually, on our drive to Toronto, we're going to be stopping at a deal that we just got under contract in
Mhm.
Pembroke. So we haven't seen this yet. We've seen pictures, we've seen the underwriting, and then we got it under contract. So we're going to be going to view this property for the first time Thursday on our way to Toronto.
Yeah.
So I thought that would be a good segue into how it's so important to have deal flow and
yes.
build relationships to maintain that.
Yeah. We won't be talking a ton about the deal we just got under contract. Maybe we'll talk about it a little bit later, but if you want to know more about it, send us a message, let us know. We can always hop on a call to talk more specifically about that.
Mm.
But it's more, I guess, how this deal kind of came about.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, like I was saying, is when you have a real estate business, there's different things that you need to keep on top of. One of them being your deal flow. One of them being, taking care of all your partners, making sure that everybody that you're working with is good and happy, and then managing the assets that you already own. So making sure that numbers are looking good. Is there anything that you can do for optimization? Is everybody involved in the deals in staying in communication? So just making sure that your assets you already own are still happy.
Yeah, especially when if you're doing deals, and a lot of people seem to be focusing on deals that have a big value add and stabilization piece to them. So it's really important to make sure that you are stabilizing those deals. Once you have them, once you close on it, that you're not just letting it go and moving on to the next thing. Mm-hmm. So just wanted to throw that in there. But again, today's focus is more on the deal flow aspect of running your real estate business.
Yeah, a really important part about real estate and having a deal is having deals. So if you don't have a deal,
there's got to be a next one.
Yeah. If you don't have a deal, if you don't have access to deals, you're not going to close on very many deals.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing to close on.
Yeah, and having good deal flow actually puts you in a position of power as an investor, because you have options. If you only have one deal and you really need to you want to get a deal done and your business kind of relies on it, then you're going to be more emotionally attached to that one specific deal, because if you lose that one, you don't have another one to kind of take its place if it starts to fall through. So having options is going to put you in a position of power where, okay, you don't need to get emotional about this. You can walk away from this deal because there's always the next one. Alfonso always says, our mentor Alfonso always says that deals are like buses. There's always the next one, right?
But there's only always the next one if you're creating deal flow.
That's right.
So it's really important. And there's a lot of different ways to create deal flow. I think a lot of people, when they're starting out, they rely a lot on on MLS, on Realtor, whatever is listed. They think that's it. And there are a lot of eyes on Realtor.
Everybody's fishing in the same pond.
Yeah, that's where everybody's going to look for their deals. Doesn't matter if you have a portal and you have you get access or you know about it a little bit earlier than other people. Being on the market everyone has access to that.
Yeah.
So how do you become different from everybody else? How do you create deal flow in other ways? And again, I'm not talking about setting up a portal with your realtor, because that's still the same pool, even though it's coming from a different spot. It's still the same pool.
You're just getting notifications that something's hitting MLS, which is hitting realtor.ca, which you can just find them on realtor.ca anyway. It just makes it a little bit more convenient because it hits your inbox right away. But guess what? It's hitting a ton of other people's inboxes at the same time.
So how do you create deal flow, and where else can you find deals other than the market, because that's the easiest place to find one. And that's not to say that there are no deals on MLS, that a deal can't be created from a property that's listed on MLS. It's just that there are so many other ways to do it that shouldn't be the only thing you're relying on.
Yeah.
So I guess the question becomes, where the heck do these deals come from?
Yeah.
Which maybe actually starting with where this one came from is a good place to start.
From my perspective, it came from our inbox, and I took it over because you started out. So where did it come from?
So funny enough, this one was actually something that was listed on Realtor. So that's why I'm saying it's not bad to be looking on Realtor. It's not a bad place to be, but you have to be smart about how you're approaching it. So with this one, it had just been listed not too long ago, and I reached out to the realtor because it was in an area that we've been really focusing on, and he's like, yeah, we're working with somebody else, or we're expecting an offer that's going to be coming in. If you want to throw in an offer, you can, but we have an offer that's going to be coming in. And I don't like getting into any kind of bidding war or anything like that. That's not the game I like to play when we're talking multifamily.
The only person that wins in a bidding war is the seller.
Yes.
Because they're just trying to say, okay, give us your best offer. Overpay for this property.
Yeah. So
you may feel like if you're the winning bid that you win, but no, really the seller's the one that's winning.
Yeah. So it wasn't something that I was interested in doing. So I said, okay, have that offer, let that happen. That's fine. If anything happens with that offer, though, let me know, because I am interested. We own a building very close by, so that's basically, I said that to say, I'm a sophisticated investor. This is something that, I'm not here just to I don't know, I was thinking of an expression, but I can't think of it right now.
Just throw in an offer.
Yeah, like I'm not just here to like, I'm not window shopping right now. I really want to buy this. So let me know if anything happens. And I followed up, I think it was a week later, property was under contract. So I said, perfect, like congratulations, that's great, happy for you, like genuinely happy for you. But if anything happens down the road, again, we're still interested in the deal, but obviously like wish you the best. Hopefully it does work out.
Yeah. Through this process also, you're actually building a relationship, kind of inadvertently, but you're keeping in communication. You're making sure that when this realtor, by following up consistently, you're making sure that if this deal falls apart, the first person that the realtor is going to think about, hopefully, is you, because you're the one that keeps following up and saying, hey, I'm interested. Let me know if this becomes available.
And interestingly, so what I did also when he told me the property was under contract, I said, okay, like that's great. Just so you're aware, this is the area that we're looking in. So if you have anything else that comes across your desk, please let me know, because again, we just closed on a building. We've now stabilized it.
We're building that portfolio in this area.
Yeah, we're back actively looking for what our next project is going to be. So then you kind of took it over from there after that.
Yeah, I took it over. I basically just followed up with them and said, hey, is this still available, like you did? I remember one of the responses that I got on it was, it's close, but the buyer requested an extension, so we gave them an extension of 1 week due to financing. I said, okay, I'll follow up with you in a week. So he gave me the date. I'm pretty sure April 22nd stands out in my mind, but he gave me a specific date that it was conditional until. And so I said, okay, I'll follow up with you the following day. So if it was April 22nd, then I followed up April 23rd. And I put something in my calendar just to remind me, okay, follow up with this deal. Mm-hmm. That's branching into more deal management, like deal flow management, making sure that you have a system in place to remind you of all these deals. If you're looking at 5 deals, it's easy to lose track of which one's which.
Yeah.
And when you should be following up. So having some sort of a deal flow management system is really, really important.
Yeah, and you can do that however you want. If it's an Excel spreadsheet, you can do it that way.
I'd say most people use spreadsheets.
Yeah.
We found it useful to use Asana. So like Monday.com, that type of thing. It's like a project management tool, but you can use it for almost like a flow. And since it's deal flow, it goes through different phases. So one of those phases is really follow up.
Yeah.
So when that happened, I followed up, and then sure enough, the deal actually fell through. Mm-hmm. So I was there, I was ready to go, knowing that there was a possibility that this might not happen. And if it did happen, great, that's fine, we'll move on to the next one. If the other buyer was able to close on it. But in our case, in this case, they weren't. So I was able to get the numbers and everything right away. And this seller was actually had requested that the realtor relist. But before they relisted, it was sent to me. Mm-hmm. And because I was so active on it, they didn't actually end up relisting it at all.
Yeah. So it didn't actually ever hit market again. Actually, it did technically after we had it under contract. I saw it this morning come through our portal.
So
but other than that,
was just this brokerage, for some reason, they needed to put the deal on MLS because they want to make sure that it's not off market, that it's actually being sold on market, which I don't think really matters from our perspective. It hit the market, but then immediately flipped over to conditionally sold.
Yeah, because we do have a portal that's set up with a realtor, and I saw it this morning. It came through. It said, I was looking at it in order of time though, so I got through that it was conditionally sold, and then the email before that was active, so it was within
available?
it was within like a minute or something. So I guess technically it did hit the market for a minute.
He warned me that he had to do that though, so
yeah.
It wasn't a shock to us when we saw it.
No, it's just funny.
It's just we have it locked up.
But I think a lot of interesting things happened through that process. And I think this is a really good example of, creating deal flow, because this is a deal that technically it was on market, but it wasn't available to us. And we stayed on top of it and ended up being the ones to get it under contract after all was said and done. And some other interesting thing happened along the way as well, because we had created a relationship with that realtor. We were kind, we were easy to work with, we showed that we were professional, we were sophisticated investors, we showed that we are truly buyers. And what actually happened in that process is we were sent other opportunities from that realtor.
Yeah, while this one was under contract from the other buyer.
Yeah. So not only did we end up getting this property under contract, but we also created other deal flow with that because of that relationship we had built. So that's one really good way to start creating deal flow, is to actually connect with realtors. And that's not necessarily to get deals that are on market. A lot of times, deals are kind of traded off market before with realtors before they even hit.
Yeah, they're called like pocket listings or exclusive deals or whatever. It's just within their brokerage at this point before it hits the wider MLS.
Yeah. So that's another really good way to create deal flow, is to create really good relationships. And really, that is what business is. That's what real estate is. That's what business is relationships. So creating those relationships with different professionals is going to give you access to different opportunities that someone who's just purely looking on realtor isn't necessarily having access to. And those relationships can start with a listing that's on MLS. It's not that, like I said, MLS is still a great place to be looking. It's just that's not everything. And you can use it as a tool to create great relationships with realtors.
It's a great place to go fishing for deal flow, like realtors that are gonna give you deal flow as well. Like often what we'll do is we'll see a property that's on realtor. We'll call the agent and mention that maybe we're interested in that one, but by the way, do you have other deals, or do you have anything else that's similar, or this is my criteria, this is what I'm looking for, let me know if anything else comes through. So just because they have one listing, they probably have other listings that you're just not aware of, and they might have some exclusive or back pocket listings or anything like that. So it's really important to show that, hey, I'm not just looking at this one building that you have. I'm interested in building a relationship with you, and hey, send me everything else that you have.
Yeah, and if you have criteria, like, I think that's where you become a more sophisticated investor in their mind, where you're not just like any deal that crosses your desk, let me know. If you're giving them criteria of the types of deals that you look for, that also shows that you have a level of sophistication.
Yeah, you know what you want.
Yeah.
You know what you're going after. And
going back to the idea of relationships, creating relationships with other people in the business can also create deal flow. So maybe
other investors probably have deals that they want to sell.
Yeah, other investors, other professionals, like mortgage brokers, lawyers, even accountants, property managers, even like junk removal places. Like
when we were flipping homes, and we were contacting like junk removal places, because that's the kind of the house we were looking at would be like a hoarder house, or one that they needed to hire this type of company. So I'm just kind of on the lookout to say, hey, if there's any properties that you think the seller may want to sell, let us know.
Yeah. So it comes down to relationships, letting everybody know what it is that you're looking for. Anybody who you think about who has access to property owners. Those right. People have that access, and you can tap into that and let them know what you're looking for. And if they hear that one of their clients is selling, you might be that first call that they make to let you know that this might be an opportunity for you.
Yeah.
So we actually have to leave it at that.
Yeah.
I know that was really short.
Quick, but I think there's a lot to unpack there, and I think there's a lot to that we covered. So we can, if requested, we can dive into this a little bit deeper on a future one. But yeah, unfortunately, we got to run.
But what it comes down to is relationships, knowing what you're looking for and building those relationships.
And
like any other area of
a
business.
follow-up system. Make sure that you have like a deal flow management system, and you're not just calling it, oh, it doesn't work right now, okay, moving on, forget about it, and we'll move on to something else. Keep a good system that you can follow up with these.
Yeah. So we'll leave it at that. If you do want to know more about the property we just got under contract, let us know, send us a message. We can get on a call and chat about it. And otherwise, we will see you back here Tuesday next week, 12:30 Eastern, for our next Power Lunch.
All right.